Welcome back, folks, to Season 3, Episode 6 of Support Together, Fill Your Cuppa podcast. I am your host, Mrs. O, and I am joined today by wee Gem Cassidy on my right.
Hello, everyone.
And a very special guest on my left, Ciara, the Sleep Nanny. Don't know what her name is, so we'll just call her Ciara Sleep Nanny.
I respond to anything, call me anything. I am all of those names.
It's a fantastic name. All the best people are called Ciara.
Yeah, what is it? Dark one or something?
Haven't a clue.
The dark? Best one.
The best one. That's it, yeah. So Ciara is our former secretary for the committee, a former S2 mum, and she is a sleep nanny. She helps us get our children, our little darlings, to sleep.
Yes.
Is this your first podcast, Ciara?
It is my very, very first one.
Are you excited or nervous?
A wee bit of both, I would say, Ciara. Here we go and see how nice she's are to me.
It's nice. Sure, it's good cracking here. We Gemma's moved seats.
Feel it. I don't know. Well, wait.
You took over the boss's seat, and we've no window today. It is New York City.
Wait, Gallava.
She's in the Big Apple, Manhattan. So she is.
She didn't like to take us on.
No, and today's her birthday. Today's Illa's birthday, yeah. She's 42. She's 51.
Failed about you out there at that there.
Everybody knows what age she is. So Ciara.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today? You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I can. Well, my name's Ciara. The best name ever, obviously. I'm mum at how beatable. You're outnumbered, Gemma. I'm sorry. You're outnumbered.
Yeah.
Mum at how. Previous life was a teacher, secondary school from Sims. And then post having children and not knowing really what I wanted to do other than knock back into teaching. Through my own experiences with sleep and working with sleep consultant, down that path. And that's the path that I'm on at the moment.
What subject were you secondary school teaching?
Geography.
She had to ask that because I was like, I think of geography. I love geography.
We do share none of the same name at the degree.
Where?
I went to a better university.
What university did you go to?
Not yours.
What one did you go to?
University of Ulster, of course.
Went to Queen's. There's nothing better than Queen's.
Sorry. What's your way in on that there, Gemma?
The best university is University of Life. That's my way in.
Very philosophical.
Our dad obviously does. So you're daughter of a teacher in a secondary school, and then whenever you became a mummy, you didn't go back to teaching.
No.
It wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. I think teaching, when you get into it, when you're very like, you're gonna help these kids and make changes in their lives and get them to love the subject that you've loved. And I devoted 3 years of my life to studying it, and it just really wasn't that. That was a very small part of what you were doing.
Yeah.
And you didn't. As much as I loved teaching, I loved being in the classroom. I absolutely loved my kids. I didn't like all the rest of it. Yeah, it's a lot. I have nothing but respect for teachers. I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. There's not enough hours in the day
to do everything.
Just getting.
And you taught far away?
I did. I taught in Dubai for 3 years.
What took you to Dubai?
Trying to make some money.
Was it 8?
Well, that was definitely another big upside to living in Dubai, was the weather.
Was there no work over here, or was it just that was better over there?
Well, I didn't qualify over here. I did my teaching over in Liverpool. And I kind of fell out of love with teaching, and I actually went to work in outdoor education for a few years. It was an outdoor education centre in Derrygonley, and then that kind of wasn't.
What's outdoor education?
I got to stand in the river many, many days, measuring for minimum flow and class. Well, that was my life every day for years and years and years, and then that just, it was great. You got.
What do you call the place in Derrygonley?
It was Field Studies Council.
I don't think we've ever been there.
No, it's not. It closed. I don't actually know when it closed, but it's not actually open at the minute.
Right.
They've centres all over, like England, Wales.
So you stood in the middle of a river. Chatted to the wee whales. Yeah.
We had big rulers.
Yeah.
Like willies. We measured rocks. We measured the, flow of the river, erosion. Yeah. From one side to the other. On meanders was the big one.
Wee question on your, and this will test university. So did you get a field trip? And your diary is better than you. What field trip did you get to go on?
I went to Tanzania.
Well, I went to Santa Ponza and we partied for a week.
I went to Tanzania. We partied for a week too.
I will. We've seen every inch of Santa Ponza for the hours of 8 to 6, and then from 6 o'clock in the evening to 8 the next morning, you did whatever you wanted, and we did whatever we wanted.
No, definitely no Tanzania.
Oh, I love like geography. No, I love it. It's my subject.
I definitely am a big geography geek.
Yeah, I still have all my geography books at home. All my wee diagrams and my wee pictures and stuff.
I've moved too many times to have all those things. Every time I move, I just keep throwing more and more and more
Yeah.
in.
So you were doing teaching, has been through your different stages of what you were doing, and then become a mommy and thought, I can go back to teaching. So tell us how you got into being a sleep nanny.
How I got into being a sleep nanny. We'll go back to Clodagh.
Right, okay.
So had Clodagh.
That's your first.
That's my first. That's my big baby. Had Clodagh. Actually had her in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I do say Dubai, but it was actually, we lived in Ras Al Khaimah, which is like an hour north of Dubai, but nobody has any idea where that is or what it is.
Yeah.
Right, so I say Dubai, and new baby, don't know what the hell you're going on. You're figuring it out, winging it. Definitely was winging it out my arse. And wanted to breastfeed, couldn't get her to latch. Was like just a nightmare. 8 days in, I go on Facebook, as you do. Sent a message in a mum's group in Dubai to be like, anybody could recommend somebody to help with this. And they had recommended a lactation consultant in Dubai. So off I trotted down to Dubai with Clodagh. She was 8 days old. And this miracle worker woman literally like, boom, straight on. I don't know what she done or how she done it, but
You put her in your bag, take her home with you.
like, right, this woman knows some crack. It knows what she's talking about. And she was just amazing, knew all things baby. She had previously been a midwife and just fountain of knowledge. And she had just been the lovely woman that she was, talked about sleep and gave me a few pointers. And I followed them to the letter, to the T. And I had this fantastically breastfed baby who was sleeping like 8 hours a night at 3 weeks old.
My God.
Which for some people would be like, that's not possible. And I was like, sorry to have to say to you. And it was great. I was living the dream. Parenting was easy. Like this week all went down, slept, and I was living my best life. And that was grand.
And do you think your personality helped with you like crossing the T's and dotting the I's and keeping that structure in place?
Absolutely.
Very much like that.
Yeah.
She's that's the teacher part of you.
That's the teacher part of me. That's the organised part of
Yeah.
me. But you have to be. Like if you're teaching, there's just so much going on and there's so many balls in the air. Like you're teaching 6 lessons a day, 300 students through your classroom. Like you've got to be on top of things.
Yeah.
You've 300 names to know. You've 300 grades to know, or roughly where these children are, or know how to progress them. Like that's a lot to keep going, and being organised helps it.
So whenever you had Clodagh, everything was going all along well. She was ticking all your boxes. She's following it. This is great.
I'm telling you, Clodagh made sure Finn came along, and Finn made sure I was done. Finn made sure that was it. Ciara, oh no, that boy was a whole different ball game.
So what's the age difference between Clodagh and Finn?
15 months.
Ooh, tight going.
I jinxed myself.
You did. Do you not know what was calling her?
I did, but you see, the thing was, I was getting on a wee bit when I had Clodagh. I was 35.
But then Clodagh was a dream child.
She was the unicorn baby.
Yeah.
And then we knew that we wanted to go again pretty quick because, like,
Age and
but my own age, and I didn't want them having too far apart. And we're like, at a year, like, we'll start trying. And we were having the conversation at about 6 months old. Will we and stay with it? And we were like, yeah. And then, so you start tracking your cycle and making sure everything's going on. And the next month, I was like, don't think we need to wait.
The year?
And that was Finn's coming into this world.
My God.
And that boy was a different kettle of fish.
Tell me about Finn.
Oh God, no. So I am. Well, people say I'm so hard on Finn, but you know he deserves it. I'm one of us. So when Finn was born, and this is what I'm a big believer in: trust your instincts.
Mm-hmm.
The first night, his blood went low and stuff, but even though like he seemed to be feeding fine, and Clodagh used to do this thing, like she would, if she was upset, the only thing she would do, she didn't want to take a dummy or whatever, she would just want to suck on my finger. So I tried doing the same to Finn, and it felt different, and that was fine. He was very unsettled those 3 days in the hospital, and that was COVID. So it was like me with this screaming demon in that hospital for 3 days straight. That child did not stop
Are
crying.
you still in Dubai or were you home?
I was here.
You come back home at this stage.
I was back home and oh my God, that child did not stop squealing. And I was convinced, I was like, I think that child has a tongue tie. I think that child has a tongue tie. Had said it and they were like, no, no, don't say anything. Then I'd mentioned it to my health visitor and she was like, go speak to the lactation consultant in the trust. Straight away, yeah,
Tongue tie.
tongue tie. And that was the big cause of the problems because one, he wasn't getting enough food.
Yeah.
And two, it was causing him discomfort because the latch wasn't great,
Mm-hmm.
air and all of that there. Got the tongue tie snipped, but then 2 weeks later, it was still the same. This child would not stop roaring.
And when you say he wasn't roaring, he wasn't sleeping either, was he?
He would sleep, but he was very, very unsettled. You know,
Mhm.
like really wriggly, and you just knew he was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 4 weeks. I was just like, get that child from around me. Here's a bottle. Go. I am absolutely utterly done. Like almost every hour on the hour, feeding this child for 4 weeks, and I was like, not for me. And which would like for Clodagh, I say with Finn, I kind of done everything right that you're supposed to do. Didn't give him the bobos, didn't give him dummies, didn't do this, and I ended up stopping my breastfeeding journey with Finn at like 4 weeks. Clodagh, everything you are not supposed to do to successfully breastfeed, I done it. She was on bottles for a week. I was expressing and giving her, you're not supposed to express until your milk comes in and all that malarkey, and I ended up feeding her for a year. So it just sense
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah.
And how it works, it works.
So whenever you were struggling with Finn, did you reach out for help at that time?
That is when I reached out for help. It was actually an auntie of mine who had first said it. It was I think she was actually in the charity. She was you were selling a cot, and she was buying the cot for her grandchild, and she I think maybe had spoken to her now about worrying about me.
Yeah.
And then had said I think my health visitor as well, had said about reaching into the charity, and that kind of how I first became aware of Support Together. And
So that brings you in our door to support together. And it's great that you've come because we still have you.
please don't let me go. Back the door and trap me in here.
We've locked the door now. She's not getting away. Yeah.
Well, then it comes along and plants these seeds.
See them seeds. See if you see her belt and seeds, you run.
Yep.
So that was you in the door, and we were during COVID was very tough. And we did have the coaching through the challenge and different wee projects we were doing to help the mummies. What got you the length of becoming a sleep dummy?
What got me the end? So Finn.
Finn not sleeping.
Well, Finn not sleeping. But then my wee unicorn baby decided sleep was zero crack too.
Aye, sure, if one isn't doing it, why would?
And that was not a life I was about. Like he wasn't sleeping during the day. He was sleeping a little bit longer at night, but nothing serious. And then Clodagh just decided like no. And when she was up for 2 hours, she was doing a split night. And when it first started, it was fine. It wasn't that bad. She's quite a content person. Clodagh's happy in her own little Clodagh world, living her own little Clodagh life. Then the roaring started and the screaming started. So then you're in there for 2 hours trying to settle her back down to sleep. Then you were getting up to him, trying to settle him back down to sleep. And you're just between the two of them constantly.
Yeah.
And it was just too much. And I actually ended up then eventually reaching out and working with a sleep consultant myself. And after that, it's the same thing as you're always doing. I was just following lots of different sleep consultants on social media, looking at their hints and tips and whatnot. And after that, I was like, this is something I think I could do. This is something I think I would actually be good at, helping these parents get better sleep. And that was sort of then started.
The seed was planted that stage.
How did the lack of sleep affect you at that time?
I wasn't functioning. I wasn't even on this planet. I can remember one thing in particular, and I think I was actually speaking to Una that night, being like having an absolute meltdown over something so simple. I was like, and I don't know how I'm going to get my children up these stairs. Like,
Your cup was totally drained.
drained. Or I was like searching for, it was empty completely, trying to dig down to the well, like.
Yeah.
And I was just, and it's such a simple thing to do, just simply get two children up the stairs to get them bathed. I was like, I don't know
But
how.
it's a battle, and you know what's ahead of you, and you think to yourself, how do you kind of do another night of no sleep? Like we know our mummies would always say to us, we would always say we'd always ask them how's your sleeping, because if you're getting any kind of sleep, that's a massive benefit because sleep deprivation is cruel.
Torture.
And
And death
yeah.
torture because you just shouldn't torturing yourself.
Yes, and everything just goes to pot after that. So sleep, we know in the charity, sleep's majorly important. And that's where I suppose we're able to work with you now. And you come in, we do a wee sleep cafe with the mummies. We try to do it once or twice a month. And they come in and get the wee tips and tricks. And then you'll work with some families one-to-one if there's a child that isn't sleeping or is out of routine, or just to help a mummy get into better routines. And I suppose the importance of good sleep hygiene and all that crack. That's where we need to pick your brain, because that's where I haven't got. Like, I know my children were never in my bed beside me. And that's honest to God. And now when they're older, they're in the bed beside me.
Go sleep for it.
I know. They'll come in the middle of the night. But I always would have been very much, your cot is your cot and that's where you sleep. I guess if you're sick, you can come in and you'll be beside me for a wee while. But as soon as you're sleeping, you're in your
Yeah.
own. Like, that's the way we always. Yeah. So I suppose for you coming into the charity with us, we were able to help the mummies, and we were able to give them the tips and tricks, and we were able to help. We were able to give wee bits, to keep them going day to day. But then I suppose when it gets the bigger stuff, that's when they go to you one-to-one. And there's loads of mummies that we have had that have used your services and have benefited from the services. And I suppose they're following what your guidelines and what you're telling them to do.
Well, I call it my sleep stool. This is what I tell you. Anybody who's ever worked with me is like, does she ever talk about anything different? Stool. This old stool. If it's off, it's off. It's going to wobble. Your sleep's going to wobble. But when I'm talking about a little one, the first thing I would say is your self-settle. So you put your little one into bed, and fairly independently, they fall asleep in 10 to 20 minutes. Some of the things you see quite often is they're falling asleep in the first 5 minutes. Well, they had actually probably started the process of falling asleep before they got into the cot. They're too tired. It's not a conscious, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Or it goes the other way. They're in and they weren't tired enough, so they're messing about.
They're
And they're loving you and da 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 da. And that links in then to the other part that I talk about a lot, which is your baby overtired or undertired? And that's your wake windows, age appropriate wake windows. For each age, again, it's not completely, can be a little bit more complicated than that, but for most children, from the point they wake up to the point they go to sleep, their wake window can be affected largely by their age. And you need to get that right. That will help the self settle. If you're getting a child who's not overtired and is not undertired, you normally have about a window of about half an hour to be like, that's our sweet spot to get you in and it's going to work. And then the last part of your stool is consistency. And the things I talk about most is your routine. That could be the bedtime routine, what's going on there. It could be your full day routine, or it could be over the week. And sometimes parents will really think like routine is good. If I've got the routine, like, why is this child not sleeping? And sometimes that's why your child's not sleeping. Because we have some of the things I come up against quite a lot is you have a child and it's 1 or 2 days in nursery, a day with mummy, a day with the grandparents. Their routine changes over the week. So when they're in nursery, there might be too much crack going on. They're not sleeping at all. Then the next day they're keeping that routine and you're like, you have to remember that child didn't sleep yesterday. You have to be flexible with the routine as well. It's not something that has to be rigidly adhered to, because it can be what's undermining your little one's sleep. And then the other one is response. So things that come up there quite a lot is, well, your little one wakes up in the middle of the night, and the first time they wake up, they might get a bottle. Then the next time they wake up, like, they couldn't be hungry again, so then it's rocking them to sleep or walking around with them to sleep. And then it could be, oh, I'm wrecked, I'm tired, and now they're in bed beside me. And now it's like, when your child woke up, you wanted them to go back to sleep, but you're giving them like 3 or 4 different responses. How does your child know that every one of those responses means the same thing?
Yeah, to go back to sleep.
To go back to sleep. And that's the framework within my work with. I'm looking to see, is there self-settle? Are we undertired or overtired? What's going on with that routine? And what are we doing to respond to our child when they wake up in the night or they don't fall asleep when we think they should? Yeah.
Has there ever been a child that has got you?
Not yet. I do start to panic sometimes. When you're in the process, you're like,
That's my best.
this could be the one. As to yet, no, touch wood, girls. It hasn't happened yet.
But am I right in thinking that you're starting now to work with adults?
I have, it's kind of branched out.
Yeah.
Things just kind of evolved.
Yes.
Because I would go to like events and say like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm a sleep consultant. And I wouldn't say like I'm an infant and child sleep consultant. Because I was in that world and living that life. So I just assumed everybody knew.
Yeah.
Because I had never heard of like an adult sleep consultant. Then you start speaking, they're like, oh, my sleep's awful. And I'm like, whoa, I'm in it there, guy, right? And then we just start talking.
The damn tips and tricks just sound to be able to work forward.
Yeah, the concepts, the same. No matter what age you're. Again, that sort of sleep stool would start. I'd be like, right, well, what is it like when you fall asleep? Okay, and how do you wake up? And then it would literally just be slightly different language and
Yeah.
looking at it in a slightly different way, but fairly similar.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of just evolved from there. And then again, going to other events, corporate, looking at how to prioritize your sleep for productivity and how that works. Like it affects everything that we do. And also now I am in the process of completing a qualification to work specifically with children with autism and anxiety.
And I'll be getting into my house.
The typical,
Yeah.
often the things miss. And
Oh, why?
they do have it. Am I assuming they have different sleep needs?
Again, there's not a lot of research. Well, there is, but there does need to be more. One of the things that comes up quite a lot is ASD can also be paired with a lack of melatonin. So melatonin is like the sleepy hormone. It helps us to know that it's time to fall asleep, and it helps us to fall asleep. So they can be lacking in that, so that can cause problems with them as well. And another thing that sort of comes up quite a bit is transitions. Like day to night is a transition.
Yeah.
Going to bed is a transition. Waking up is a transition. How do we manage all of these transitions to help a child who's suffering with autism and anxiety?
Yeah.
So
This was a feeds into their emotions and their ability to process that transition.
yeah,
Probably harder.
absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be a big one for you.
Yeah.
It's so you were chatting there, and I thinking to myself, I wonder if she could sleep with herself. This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Supreme Motors. Whether you're looking for something affordable or a top tier option, Supreme have the perfect car for you, along with a commitment to exceptional care at all times. Visit suprememotors.co.uk. Do you sleep the clock round?
I could do a good 2-hour disco nap and still go to bed.
You and Gemma get on around then.
Set
Gemma says it's all time.
times. Me and her are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
I would know. If I slept during the day, I wouldn't sleep. I would be up rambling about at night time.
No, I could have a good 2. Well, if I was ever in the situation that you could get one,
Knocks are beneficial.
it
But the-
depends. It depends.
Please don't take it away from me, Karen. Days that are. They're
So, but the only day that I possibly would lie down and have a sleep would be on Christmas Day after dinner, and that's usually because I'm up from 5 o'clock in the morning. Do you want to know what crazy? So I have a free turkey.
Yeah.
But I love turkey. I would have turkey most Sundays.
There's melatonin in turkey.
I know, but I would have turkey more. Like turkey is my yum.
So we all eat a turkey before bed.
Aye.
Well, eating before bed might necessarily be the best thing for sleep. And again, it's going to be individual. Like, when we think about sleep, how we are supposed to sleep and how we are designed to sleep in this modern world we've created don't necessarily meld very well.
No.
When you think of your circadian rhythm, like your 24-hour clock, it's linked to light. One of the biggest things is light, food, and how active we are. We can have light 24/7. We can have access to TV 24/7. So we don't have those natural outdoor cues to tell us we have indoor heating. We don't have that cue to tell us that it's coming at night time. Some of us live very sedentary lives where we're working at a desk all day and we start to become more active in the evening when really we should be starting to become
Right.
part of that transition. So
We shouldn't be going to gym at night.
How dare you say that?
it depends on your chronotype.
Depends on how sore you are the next day.
How are you feeling now about that right now, Ciara? Did you make bad life choices?
No, I didn't. I made good life choices this week, and I was back at the gym, and I'm not fit to walk. And you're all making fun of me, but I am back with a bang.
Good. So, Ciara, you've intrigued me there. What's a crone site?
The very simplest form is an early bird or a night owl.
Right, okay, yeah.
So there is sort of like genetic predisposition.
Can you be oldest?
You can be in middle ground.
Ah, well, I think I'm a middle ground. What are you, Gemma?
I'm an early bird.
Are you?
I like getting up and out and seizing the day.
Which one are you?
Not surprisingly, same as Gemma.
Deb, what do you like? But, oh no, yes, you like to go to bed early. You like to miss it.
I'm in the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not at that carry out, but
no.
No, I'm the all
like getting up and out.
Up
Yeah.
and out and go.
Yeah.
After all of this here, does your two children stay perfect? Or is it still a matter of, it's like, I suppose life, it's a work in progress, that there's going to be, I suppose what we say to mummies, there'll be things that come along, like a cold or a flu or something maybe happens in school that will upset their sleeping, and I suppose it's working with that.
Yeah, and that would then be going back to the sleep style. You know, at the bottom of it, I would quite often say needs versus wants. All needs must be met, wants can be managed. So if your child is sick and they need more comfort, they need more support, you give it to them, because that's one thing. They're like, oh, well, what if I hugged it? And they need it. Like, they need the comfort, to feel comforted, to feel safe and to feel secure is a basic human need. And that has got to be met. And then you will have parents that start to be like, oh, but they were sleeping perfectly. And I'm like, anytime I'm done sleep or done working with a child, working with a parent and a child's sleep, first thing I'll say, it's going to go to shit again.
Yeah.
Like, it is going to go to shit again. Go back to those basics. Are they self-settling? Are they starting to crash out? Are they starting to spend longer and longer to go to sleep? Do you need to look at wake windows? Do you need to make them longer? Do you need to make them shorter? Is the routine not working for them anymore? Is the bedtime routine, do we need to change? Do we need to tweak? Is it too overstimulating? Do we need to give them more time to calm down?
A whole lot of things to think about there, isn't there?
Is it
But that's just going back.
a bit of awareness of what's going on during the
Yeah.
day and just knowing your child and
100%.
listening to them wee cues that you're maybe life is so busy that we don't maybe take the time.
100%.
I'd say over Christmas, there could be a few,
Late nights.
yeah, there'll be late nights and
Technically.
they'll be crap, and then shall lower, and whenever you're thinking about going, was that
Fleur. Right, starting a job at that one, Fleur.
Gemma's very fancy. You see, she's from Castle Dawson. She calls it Shallower. So it's really slur. They're like, I know heading towards going back to school. My weekends are like, they're going to have to start going to bed a wee bit earlier, and I'm going to have to start waking them earlier, because there'll be no shifting them for the first day back to school, because they quite quickly get into a routine of staying up later and lying on longer.
Oh, yeah. If that's coming up and it is an issue, I always say, is it worth it? And if I'm
Doesn't
running,
work for you.
does it work for you? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Because, like, when I think of my own child, Clodagh was very flexible. Like, he could have just taken her anywhere. If she missed a wee nap, it was never a bad thing. Then
The devil.
absolutely not. Like, if he is not slept, he will let you know. And that could have, like, he might have had a nap, but it wasn't long enough. And then, like, the 3 or 4 hours when he was younger to that next nap was like,
Yeah.
was just the longest time of your life.
He sounds like my Orla. Like, Orla, if Orla's tired, you can't even look at her.
What about changes in environment? Because I know that was a big issue for me, and I remember speaking
About when he went into the bed.
like I moved Potter from a toddler bed to a big boy bed, a big double bed, and I mean it was fucking nearly touching the roof. Because I bought a real good mattress and I said that's going to do him till he's 18. So in my eyes, I was doing a good thing. But to him, that was a big, fucking scary big bed gonna go in this here, and he was used to this wee small the floor. Jeez, I didn't understand that was gonna be just.
That's a transition.
That is a transition and something that he struggled with. Like, you were sitting in your little cocoon, little tiny toddler bed. And now you have all this space. Well, why do I have all this space? What am I supposed to do with all this space? What happens if I lie over there? What happens if I lie over here?
Fall.
This is further up off the ground. I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these. You just don't.
When you're in the one wee spot and you're nice and warm, if you roll over, that part's cold. So.
What? Uh-huh.
On you.
But it took me a long time to understand that. You know.
Oh, I got that quite quickly, because Orla wouldn't lie anywhere, only her cot. She needed the bar right her. If she didn't have the bar, she wouldn't.
Hopefully, this is not something that continues on into life.
She's in her bed. She's in her bed now. But I'm not joking. Like, she wouldn't go anywhere. She wouldn't stay anywhere unless she was in her own cot, and that was, I suppose, where she felt safe. That was her bed. Like, and I am saying this here because she went from the Moses basket to the crib quite quickly because she's a big baby. And then whenever she was in the crib, I moved the crib downstairs for during the day and the big cot upstairs. Well, she was in her big cot upstairs for maybe 5 or 6 weeks. And as soon as she slept through the night, she was in her own room. So that was her safe space. She would have very easily self-settled into bed, give her 10, 15 minutes, she's sleeping, that's great. Would have slept well during the night until about 7 months old, and then she opened her eyes and never closed them again. But it was her cot, it was her space. Like, she needed to have the bars around her to be used to them. That was her.
What do you think then that happened at that 7 months that made her go, sleep's not for me?
She started teeth. She started cut teeth.
Oh, so pain.
And when I say, and Eamon even says it himself, whenever she started cut the teeth, like, she went from being a dream child to being a complete and utter nightmare, and she didn't sleep for nearly 2 years. It was unreal. Like, if she was the last one and she's going to be the last one, but that she made sure she was the last one, because you name it, I tried it. Granules, an egg above the door, yes, for the teething. You hang out an egg above, yes, behind it, or in a sock. Then she would have had asthma and she would have bad breathing. She had very bad first Christmas because of because of her chest, and even that there, and then it's along with the teething. Oh, Jesus, girls. There's more nights that a sleep deprivation hit me, and I was.
When you're draining.
You get to the stage where you haven't slept for a while, and I go, and it's actually happened to me in the office. I go giddy. I go really, really stupid and really, really giddy whenever I haven't had sleep. And like, I was beyond that. Like the brick wall was hitting me by, yeah, oh, totally. And that's the way we were with Orla, because and it was the pain.
And like there's no magic fix to that unless
Just
that is a need is to feel comfortable, and if you're in pain, it is massively
like, her first birthday, we went up and stayed at my sister's house. It was hilarious. It's funny now, but it was far from funny at the time. We partied the whole day long, and we had a bites gas, and the whole app was great. And I thought, right, this I'll go to sleep early, and I might have a couple of drinks. And no joking, I fell asleep at 4:10 in the morning, and Orla was still rambling about the bed, because it wasn't her cot, it wasn't her house, it wasn't her environment. And I think she slept maybe 3 hours that night. And
like no invitation for her to go to sleep.
Not at all. This is not my this is not my house.
And do you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Yeah. You've heard tell
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
But it's all about that.
Yeah.
They shelter and warmth.
Less on the bottom part of it, and then it goes up and up and up and up there.
Psychological needs.
Yeah.
Well, my ways will be very much homebirds, and they know their comforts, and like they'll stay with anybody can come and keep them in their own house.
In their own house, yeah.
Don't put them anywhere else.
Don't sleep well somebody else's.
No. I was at my sister's house the weekend.
You can't wait to get back to
I know.
Well, why do you think that is though?
Because it's not what you're used to. It's not your
environment. Yeah. You see it as a threat.
Yeah.
You're very aware that you're in a different environment.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I.
A bit away from the wind, and you're worrying about them, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go now and I have to do a wee bit of juggling here. Let me sign out. Thank you, there we go. Ciara, we'll start with you today. What do you do to fill your cuppa? What fills your cuppa?
Oh God, there is a question now. I would like to say going to the gym, but sometimes I think that drains their cup a bit too much.
Sleep?
Well, sleep, yeah. Because that's a basic need. Like, I don't know if I could really say sleep filled up my cup, because
Well, it can very quickly drain.
oh, 100%. 100%. Cooking.
Cooking?
I
What
like
do you make? You've never brought us on in the office. Do you bake?
No, I cannot bake at all.
Yeah, pot cooker. I could imagine you throwing everything in a pot.
I do like a good slow cooker, just whack it all in and see what happens.
What's your favourite dinner?
My favourite dinner, it's not about very big a fancy one. It's like one of those when you were away and you were like,
What is it?
spuds, beans, sausage.
Lord. What's yours, Ciara? It's between. I have a couple of good dinners. It depends on what plate you get made.
Right, okay.
I have a favourite plate when the dinner's tastier on that plate.
Of course.
Yeah. Minced stew, which is just minced onions, carrots, gravy, spuds, or minced pancakes, which is minced meatballs flattened. Remember them, Gemma?
No, can I surely?
Cabbage and bacon.
bubble.
Oh, yeah.
No. They're cabbages enough to send me over there.
Oh, turnip and onion.
The smell of that.
Or get out turkey and ham. I could eat turkey deb omelette.
That is the one for you. What about you, Gemma?
Do you know what? I was a fussy eater whenever I was growing up. But I always loved the shepherd's pie.
Eamon loves shepherd's pie. If I make mince, he'd be go and keep some air for shepherd's pie. I'm like, what's the
Totally different.
It's the exact same. It's the two thing in the one dish.
She used to make they would have had mashed potatoes and mince and veg or whatever. But I did go and I used to have a wee ramekin dish, I had to chuck it then and put it all in a dish, put nothing for 10 or 15 minutes. And I would have had shepherd's pie then.
But it's no different. It's just all it's all together.
Logical here.
It's in your head.
See, I would have to have it separate. I would like it together.
It's literally gorgeous.
I can give and take a shepherd's pie, cottage
Tell
pie.
you what? Do you know what's weird now? And I can't understand it. See, tin spaghetti hips.
Yeah, they're different from spaghetti.
Love spaghetti hips.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't love it. Tin spaghetti.
No, different taste.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat spuds and beans now.
Oh no, love it.
So cooking is what fills your cup.
Yeah, I love to cook.
Kind of the rest of it, I think.
No, I did. Just went off. And I even took a mad notion the other day and decided to make my own butter because the price of it is ridiculous.
Well, how that
You made your own butter.
Yeah, I put too much salt in it.
How do you make butter?
You just get double cream and whip it and whip it and whip it until it turns into butter.
Oh, no.
And you make buttermilk after that.
I had buttermilk then as well from Housie for your pancakes.
No, that's too much hassle for me.
I don't think it takes that long.
No. Just put it in the food processor and away it went. And but I did put way too much salt in it, so I could only use it for like cooking with. I couldn't like put it on toast. I was like, it's only the first time. Like, give me a chance. Give me a chance.
There'll be new butter in the shops after Christmas. Ciara Sleep Nanny butter. Gemma, what's filling your cup at the minute?
What is filling my cuppa? What did I do at the weekend? Can't remember. Oh, tell you what I done on Monday. I went to like a makeup masterclass up home. So I went to Black with my sister. And we had a beautiful evening. It was who was your man, Jerry Love, and some makeup doll. And it was just he's wild crack.
Good laugh.
Aye. Bad as a batch of frogs, as you say. Thoroughly enjoyed it and came home that evening and my cup was
Overfull.
Yeah.
That's great.
Loved it.
Brilliant. I'll have to ask myself, same as every other, what fills my cuppa? What fills your
Cuppa. What did you do this week?
What? Gemma?
I know.
What is it?
Yeah, I went back to the gym this
I know, but yes, it's filling my cuppa. It's clearing my head, but it's making me very sore because I haven't been in a while because I took a wee break. But there you go. That's what filled my cuppa. Taking a wee break. No one to take a break because I know when I said it last week, that was what filled my cuppa last week. But having the sense, I suppose, to know when to step back and then knowing when to go back. Because I could have sat and thought, oh, should I go back to after Christmas? No, I needed to go back. And I've a good and yes, it's sore, but it's a good sore.
No, here, no. My PT said that to me on Monday, and I have never wanted to have something to face so much. But it's sore. There's nothing good about being sore, Ciara.
There's to be honest, if I had did what I did, on Monday and Tuesday and wasn't sore, I'd be annoyed.
And how many burpees do we need to do?
Far too many.
That far too should just be eradicated from the gym altogether.
We started off with a burpee beak test.
Is that like we're running?
No, I know like the beak test is where you run. This is where you do a burpee for every beep. But like for the more fitter ones, they were doing a burpee, 2 high knees and a clap. I wasn't doing that.
I wouldn't need to be fit for the burpee.
Just do the burpee.
Just do the clap. High knees and the clap. Yeah.
I was just doing the burpee. I did the burpee to the beep, but the beep obviously gets faster. There's 5 levels, so I was doing a burpee to every beep. But like you're at level 5, you're doing a burpee and getting up again, getting down again, doing up again, down. That's the way it was going. But it's good to get it over and done with. Like there was a time I couldn't even do a burpee. I was doing a squat. So it's if I
was like absolute torture.
No, it's good because if I had to come home, if I had been sitting here today and I wasn't sore, I'd be like, well, what was the point?
I would rather impress myself at the gym this week, though. I managed to do 8 push-ups. Never been able to do a push-up in my life.
On your hands
and
your feet? No, I can't do that. I can do a couple of them, like.
No, and I'm like, never mind.
Top heavy. Go down and break my nose.
That would save you from breaking your nose, Ciara.
Remember that. Can I ask you a question? Where did this all start sniffing G's? What tip could you give to mums and dads over the Christmas period if the shit hit the fan and sleep goes up the left?
Accept that it's going up the left. And put your plan in place for how you're going to get it back, which will be going back to, do you need to get that child for the next few nights? Prioritise an early bed to get them back on track. Do you need to prioritise getting the routine back in place? What is
stool.
Yeah, back to your stool. Always back to that. And your wobbly stool, my wobbly stool. If that any part of that stool wobbles, your sleep's going to wobble with it. Yeah.
Cut the oil.
You can't just like shove something underneath it and try and like stabilize it. You have to actually do the work.
You bar matters in. Shows it on that base that wobbling. Anyway.
Here we go. All right, go on.
This is the best part of the podcast. So my friend has designed an invisible airplane. I can't see it taking off. I'm trying to learn the alphabet, but I just can't get past X. I don't know why. I gave my friend an apple, but he told me he preferred pears. So I gave him another apple.
You seem like confused by that one. 2 pears, a pear.
I was, because he thought, same as last week with T. Hanks. It hurt me to say this, but I have a sore throat. Gemma, you're not laughing. You're meant to be laughing.
That's the whole point of dad jokes. They're supposed to be bad.
What's the difference between a literalist and a kleptomaniac? A literist.
Start again.
What is the difference between a literist?
Wait.
What is the difference between a literist and a kleptomaniac? A literist takes everything literally. A kleptomaniac takes everything literally. So what a kleptomaniac like must be one of those people that takes the stuff. An literist is a person who takes everything literally.
Get it away.
He's laughing.
I think if you have to explain the joke, Ciara, that's kind of what takes the funniness out of it.
I had one there last week. What do you call a dwarf that fell into a cement mixer?
Ciara, is this PG?
Wee hard man. Okay, we're gonna have to finish it there because it's not good. Like, thank you very much, Ciara, for being our guest.
Yeah, come.
We'll probably have you back on again in next season. Another week.
Story.
Keep it going. Have a lovely Christmas with your children, and
To sleep well.
yeah, hope you sleep well. Have a real sleep well.
Here, sometimes you just have to accept things that they're just not going to sleep well, and quite often I will just throw them into bed beside me and turn around and go to sleep and say, make good life choices, kids. Anyway, to sleep.
She just tells you but she just okay.
It's like that has to work. You know what I mean?
Every night now, not every night.
Not every night, and that's what you have to make.
Yeah.
That's it. You have to make it clear. Like at Christmas, we're having a sleepover and sleep in bed in the night.
That's it.
You like you?
Yes. Yeah. Boundaries. Good night, folks. Goodbye. Cheerio. Farewell. So long. Bye. Hello. This was Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, with me, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Cassidy. The podcast today was brought to you with thanks to our sponsor Supreme Motors NI and produced by 9874 Creative.